Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about some ways to use the Google Chromebook in the general ed classroom as a tool to reach out to those special needs students. So what is a Chromebook anyway? Here's a brief video that Google produced that describes what a Chromebook is and its basic functions.
More and more of what you use your computer for is actually happening in the cloud. So, since people are rethinking the way they do things, we rethought the computer as the Chromebook. The always new computer. Chromebook doesn't slow down or need upgrades, so you're always using the fastest, most secure version. And you're always one click away from the best new stuff. Chat face to face, edit photos and videos, even in HD. Work together in real time. Or get down to the really important things. In fact, there are thousands of apps to help you get it all done without waiting for updates, rebooting, or, well, you know, and it's fast. Chromebook boots in seconds. It has virus protection built in, and you're connected to the cloud. So your stuff is everywhere you need it to be, safe and secure, and always right at your fingertips. You can work anywhere with your Chromebook, online, offline, on a plane, on a train, in a tree. With your always updated, always safe, always fast, always new Chromebook.
Alright, so let's go over some basic pros and cons of a Chromebook. The first con is there's very little storage space, but because practically everything is stored on the cloud, storage space isn't really needed on the hard drive. There is no CD drive, so you couldn't listen to like a CD or play any kind of game that's based on a CD. It's also not compatible with hardware or software that requires a driver. This means you can only use apps provided by Google or plug-and-play devices that don't require any kind of installation. The screen is smaller than an average computer, which could make it difficult for those visually impaired, but we're going to talk about later some ways around this to kind of help those students. The operating system is fairly new, but it's pretty user-friendly and easy to navigate and figure out. My biggest con is the fact that the Chromebook loses a lot of functionality when not connected to Wi-Fi. Though many apps and programs have an offline feature, you lose many of the Chromebook's capabilities when you are offline. This is a particular disadvantage to those students who may not have internet access at home. As far as the pros go, Chromebook combines features from several different computers and tablets. Any computer can run the same programs as a Chromebook. You just have to install the Google Chrome. So if you only have a class set of Chromebooks and the students can't take them home, they can still access everything on a regular computer just through the Google Chrome website. Like I mentioned before, almost everything is cloud-based. This means you can access your work from any device. The majority of Google apps are free, and the cost of the device itself is usually less expensive than laptops or tablets, which makes it appealing to schools who need to buy them in mass quantity. As far as using Chromebooks as an educational tool, you can use them to collaborate in real time. So students can be working on a project together while they're in their separate homes and they can all see what each other's doing. The boot up is very fast. It only takes seconds to turn on. And finally, it can help schools go paperless. Most textbook companies have an online version of their books, so Chromebooks can also help eliminate heavy backpacks. Alright, so some differences between a Chromebook and a laptop. First, let's look at the Chromebooks. We've already talked about the storage. Chromebooks don't have as much storage, but since everything is cloud-based, or nearly everything, a lot of internal storage isn't really necessary. There's not as much processing speed, which means a Chromebook isn't ideal for really graphic intensive tasks like gaming. But we're not really going to be using the Chromebooks for gaming. We're going to be using them for an educational tool. So this really doesn't apply to us. The boot up time is extremely fast. So students can close their Chromebooks during class change. Like as soon as the bell rings, they can just gently close them, go to their next class, and open them back up and almost immediately begin working on it. We've already talked about the fact that there's no CD drive and it's not compatible with drivers, meaning you cannot install any accessories that aren't just plug and play. The battery life I have actually been very impressed with so far. It lasts much longer than a laptop. It has lasted us all day. As long as students bring them fully charged, there's no problem with them lasting all day. A lot of online services are free, which makes it easy for both teachers and students to kind of fix any issues, any simple issues that might come up. Um, Chromebooks also stay up to date automatically, which is nice. You don't have to wait for Windows to install updates. I know I've had issues before in the computer lab where I've had to wait for Windows to install an update, and that will never happen with a Chromebook. And lastly, teachers can manage Chromebooks remotely. There's a program that enables teachers to do this. It does cost $30 per device, but it's a lot easier to monitor Chromebooks than a laptop. All right, so laptops, one advantage, they do have more USB ports. Most information is stored on the hard drive, which is not accessible to multiple devices. You would have to store it on either a flash drive or some type of external hard drive if you wanted to access your information from other devices. You can install hardware and software on laptops, and they usually have a disk drive. IT support is usually not free for laptops, and it's more difficult for teachers to set up restrictions and manage laptops. All right, so a Chromebook versus a tablet. Chromebooks are actually more similar to tablets, so there's not as many significant differences. Particularly for special needs students, the fact that Chromebooks have a keyboard is definitely a plus. Chromebooks also support Flash, which many interactive sites run on, so this is definitely another big plus. Chromebooks are also usually less expensive than tablets. However, a tablet does come in a wider variety of screen sizes. Tablets usually are a lot lighter than Chromebooks as well. And they do have more covers and cases available. Hopefully, as the Chromebooks become more popular, we'll see more accessories like screen protectors and things like that become. All right, so some features built into Chromebooks already that could be very helpful for special needs students. This is a screenshot of the settings page. Here you can make the cursor bigger so it's more visible on the screen. You can also turn on high contrast mode, which makes the screen a little bit easier to read. There's also a really cool tool called Chrome Vox, which is spoken feedback and it describes what is happening on the screen. There's also a screen magnifier that enlarges some items on the screen. And there's also support for USB connected Braille display. So even though Chromebooks do have, we talked about earlier, smaller screen, there are several features here that can help those vision impaired students. And going back to that USB Braille display, this is a picture. This particular model is compatible with most Chromebooks. Most of them are plug and play. So even though you cannot install a driver, you don't really need to. Some other features built into Chromebooks include voice search. You can use this for more than just searching. Through voice search, Google can create calendar events, set reminders, translate words or phrases, even define words, and solve math problems. The voice search feature could be great for those students who have difficulties typing or even difficulties with spelling. English language learners could also take advantage of the translator. And there's also several other low vision features that advanced settings. All right, so what is an app? Because you can't install any hardware or software, Google has a seemingly endless amount of apps that you can install. So here is another brief video that Google has produced to help explain what apps are.